Hello everybody. So today I want to show you how to answer question A to question D. So we know that expected return of more than two assets, for example, stock, bond, and assets, something like this. We need to follow the formula in here. So that should be about the weighted of number 1 multiplied by the rate of number 1 plus the weighted of number 2 multiplied by the rate of number 2 and so on in here. About beta, we have the formula in here. Weighted of number 1 multiplied by rate of number 1. Then we have the weighted of number 2 multiplied by R of number 2 and so on in here. So in this case, we just have only the stock and a risk-free market, a risk-free access. That means we just have only two. So in this case, we can calculate for the first one, that is about expected return. To answer the first one in here, we have R equals to, we know that this is about equally invested. That means we have the weighted of the stock 0.5. That means we have 50%. And the rate of return, that is about 12%. Plus the weighted of number 2, that is about a risk-free asset. We have 0.5%. We multiply by 2.6% in here. So if you calculate, and we have about 7.3%. Now let's go to the second one. If a portfolio of the two assets has beta 0.77, we know that we have this beta in here. So we have the weighted of the stock. I will put W number 1 and the beta of number 1, that is about 1.1 in here. And because we just have only two, so we have 1 represent 100% minus the weighted of the stock. We multiply by beta of number 2. We know that we don't know this one. We can put W number 1. Beta of number 1, we have 1.1. Because about a risk-free market, a risk-free asset, this one equals to number 0 because that is about risk-free. So beta number 2 equals to number 0. So the question they will provide 0.77. So we put this number go in here. Then we divide both sides by 1.1. And this one, we have 70%. So we put this number go in here. So if you want to find the weight of risk-free, so we just use number 1 minus 0.7, we have 0.3. So that is the answer for question B. We go to question C. If a portfolio of two assets has an expected return of 9%, what is about beta? So we know that we have this one. We have weighted of number 1 multiplied by R of number 1 plus the weighted of number 2 multiplied by R of number 2. So in this one we have 9%. We have W number 1 and R number 1 we have 12% plus 1 minus W number 1, and this one that is 2.6%. So if you calculate to find the W number 1, that is about 0.68. So we can find W number 2, that is about number 1 minus 0.68, and you have 0.32. Now we go to beta. Because beta number 2 equals to number 0, so we have W number 1 we have 0.68, and the beta number 1 we have this one. So we have 0.748. And this is the answer for question C. And the last one. We know that if a portfolio of the two assets had a beta of 2.2, what are the portfolio weights? So in this one, we can use about this formula in here. So we put 2.2 go in here. So we divide both sides by 1.10 to find the weight of the stock. This one we have 200%. So that means we have number 2 in here. So about this one, this one we have negative number 1. We put negative number 1 go in here. And that is the answer for the question. This is the end. Thank you for watching.